Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Let us begin with prayers. Welcome all of you for today's session. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 3, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Text 22. Naradevattvamapanna surakaryaचिकीर्षया समुद्रनिग्रहादीनि चक्रे वीर्याण्यतः परम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaраvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Srila Suta Goswami continued. In the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama. In order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods, he exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist king Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead, Sri Rama, assumed the form of a human being and appeared on the earth for the purpose of doing some pleasing work for the demigods or the administrative personalities to maintain the order of the universe. Sometimes great demons and atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu and many others become very famous due to advancing material civilization by the help of material science and other activities with the spirit of challenging the established order of the Lord. For example, the attempt to fly to other planets by material means is a challenge to the established order. The conditions of each and every planet are different, and different classes of human beings are accommodated there for particular purposes mentioned in the codes of the Lord. But, puffed up by tiny success in material advancement, sometimes the godless materialists challenge the existence of God. Ravana was one of them, and he wanted to deport ordinary men to the planet of Indra, or heaven, by material means without consideration of the necessary qualifications. He wanted a staircase to be built by directly reaching the heavenly planet so that he wanted a staircase to be built up directly reaching the heavenly planet so that people might not be required to undergo the routine of pious work necessary to enter that planet. He also wanted to perform other acts against the established rule of the Lord. He even challenged the authority of Sri Rama, the personality of Godhead, and kidnapped his wife Sita. Of course, Lord Rama came to chastise this atheist, answering the prayer and desire of the demigods. He therefore took up the challenge of Ravana, and the complete activity is the subject matter of the Ramayana. Because Lord Ramachandra was the personality of Godhead, he exhibited superhuman activities which no human being, including the materially advanced Ravana, could perform. Lord Ramachandra prepared a royal road on the Indian Ocean with stones that floated on the water. The modern scientists have done research in the area of weightlessness, but it is not possible to bring in weightlessness anywhere and everywhere. But such weightlessness is the creation of the Lord, by which he can make the gigantic planets fly and float in the air. He made the stones even within this earth to be weightless, and prepared a stone bridge on the sea without any supporting pillar. That is the display of the power of God. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So in this shloka, we are reading about Lord Ramachandra, and here it is said, Naradevatvam apannaha. Apannaha means having assumed the form of Nara, human being. The Lord accepted a form, a human like form. Not only did the Lord accept a human like form, but in this particular incarnation as Lord Ramachandra, he also accepted the established norms for human society. He uh, sort of bound himself to the rules and regulations of the human society. So, Naradevatvam apannaha. So, even though he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he accepted a human like form. Sura Karya Chikirshaya. Sura means the Devatas. Karya, activities. Chikirshaya, for the purpose of performing. So, for the purpose of performing the activities of the Devatas, in order to please the Devatas, the Lord accepted this form as a human being. So, in the very beginning of the Valmiki Ramayana, in the Balakanda, it is described how the earth was very much tormented by the atrocities of the demon king Ravana. And Ravana, he was highly immoral. He might have been a worshipper of Devatas, but he was actually a demon because, and even though he was born in the family of a Brahmana, his father was uh, Vishrava Rishi, his grandfather was Pulatsya Rishi. All of them are exalted personalities, they are Brahmanas, but he was a demon. Why he was a demon? Because of his demoniac qualities. Ishwaroham, aham bhogi. These are the thinkings of a demoniac person. Krishna explains in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. A demon thinks that I am God, Ishwaro aham. Aham bhogi. I am the enjoyer of everything that exists. And in order to win over my enemies, I can go to any extent. These are all the thought processes of a demoniac personality. So we should understand that mere birth in a particular family cannot qualify a person to be a Brahmana or a saintly person or a Devata. Actual qualification is one's activities, one's mentality, which drives one's activities. So, this particular demon, Ravana, had actually tormented all the saintly persons, and the Devatas also had become controlled by him because of the immense power that he had got by the blessings of Lord Brahma. And because of this, all the Devatas they become powerless in front of Ravana. They could not control his activities. Therefore, all the Devatas approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Vaikuntha. And the Lord assured them that do not worry, very soon I shall appear in the Raghu dynasty, in the solar dynasty. And since Ravana is so proud that he considers human beings to be insignificant, I shall appear in the human society as a human being. I shall not use superhuman powers, but I shall remain as a human being and I shall kill this demon Ravana. And all of you Devatas, you should all take birth in the in the Vanara clan. You should all appear as Vanaras to assist me in my activities as Rama. So, in this way, the Supreme Lord instructed all the Devatas, and all the Devatas they took birth as different Vanaras, the Amshas of various Devatas, like Vayudeva, his Amsha appeared as Hanumanji, Indra's Amsha appeared as Vali, and Surya's Amsha appeared as Sugriva, and so on. Jambavan, many others appeared. So they were all there, and being a Nara, taking help of Vanaras, the Lord defeated this demon Ravana. And not only he defeated the demon Ravana, he also established the standard norms of how a human being should live in this world. Therefore, he is called Maryada Purushottama. And here in this verse, it is said, the Lord did these activities for the pleasure of the Devatas, who are all surrendered souls. Just because the Devatas approached the Lord and seeked his shelter, the Lord assured them, don't worry, I shall rid this earth of this demon Ravana. Not only the earth, all the 14 planetary systems were tormented by Ravana. So the Lord appeared as a human being and he pleased the Devatas by killing Ravana. And it is also said here about one particular special activity that the Lord performed. Remember, in each of these shlokas in this chapter, which we are reading about the different incarnations of the Supreme Lord, apart from mentioning the name of those incarnations, Srila Suta Goswami also mentions one prominent activity by which we can recognize the divinity of the Lord in those particular incarnations. Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha. In each of these incarnations, the Lord performed wonderful activities, superhuman activities, which ordinary human beings cannot imitate. So, here for Rama Avatara, it is mentioned what is that special activity which the Lord performed? Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Viryani Atah Param. Samudra Nigraha. The Lord, Nigraha means he controlled, he brought under his control, Nigraha. Samudra Nigraha, Adini means etc. So the Lord, even though he appeared as a human being, in certain pastimes the Lord displayed his superhuman divine power. And one of those pastimes is his controlling of the ocean deity, ocean. Viryani, Chakre Viryani Atah Param. So he performed superhuman activities and he defeated the cruel Ravana. So you see, in the Valmiki Ramayana, three important concepts have been presented very nicely, which are all very important for us to know also. That is called Prakriti, Samskriti, and Vikruti. So Prakriti is nature. Vanaras were living in nature. So they were living a life which is very close to nature, and their system, their society was not, you cannot call it as fully civilized. At the same time, it is not uncivilized also. You can say it is semi-civilized. The Vanara kingdom, the Vanara society lifestyle was a semi-civilized lifestyle. That is called Prakriti. Now, if you see Ayodhya, the Surya Vamsha kings, Dashrath Maharaj, his predecessors, Lord Ramachandra, his activities, his lifestyle, that is called Samskriti. Samskriti means, Sam means completely, Kruta means made, nicely made, or something which is very organized, civilized. A society which is based on value system, that is called Samskriti. It is a civilization, we call it. Civilization means civic sense is prominent in the people. They know how to behave with each other. They have value for relationships. They give emphasis on for the civilized human beings. They respect each other's rights. They respect duties of their selves. They perform their duties without fail. So these are all symptoms of civilized human beings. That is called Samskriti. So Samskriti is better than Prakriti, definitely. It is more advanced. In fact, we have to move from Prakriti towards Samskriti. Whereas if you go to Ravana's kingdom, Lanka, that is representing Vikriti. Vikriti means it is not civilization, but it is a fallen society where uh, there is no emphasis for the other person's life, the other person's duties, or sorry, responsibilities. It is all about exploitation. It is Jungle Raj, where the only rule is might is right. Might is right. If you have the power, you can do anything. There is no consideration for value system. There is no consideration for other person's whether the other person is pleased with my behavior or not. These considerations are not there. That is called Vikruti. It is a fallen society. Degradation, it is called. So these three kinds of lifestyle are very nicely highlighted and distinguished from each other in the epic Ramayana. The final lesson what we learn is Samskriti and Prakriti can go well with each other, provided Prakriti is ready to follow the Samskriti. Whereas Vikriti always meets with final destruction. That is what happened with Ravana. Ravana's kingdom had all opulences. You know, he was, his entire kingdom was made of gold. He had the most sophisticated army. The weapons used by all the soldiers in the Ravana's kingdom was highly sophisticated. Ravana himself knew the use of so many divine weapons. In fact, in the Ramayana, there is a description also. When Hanumanji goes to Lanka, he sees a very uh, organized, road planning, organized way of, you know, building the city. He also saw different gradations of people, different kinds of homes, houses for each of them, very nicely organized. Infrastructure was very great. Now, but a society cannot be judged simply based on infrastructure. Just because infrastructure of a particular country or a nation is highly developed, we cannot really call it as a civilization. But you see, in the Ayodhya city also there was a very highly developed infrastructure. But there more emphasis was given on character building. That is real Samskriti, real civilization. So Prakriti, we all are born as Prakriti, as part of nature. Now, if there is no proper training, then we all can get degraded to Vikriti. But if there is a proper training and culture with knowledge, based on proper knowledge, then we can get promoted to Samskriti. Samskriti is more conducive for attaining the goal of life, which is self realization and God realization. In Vikriti, facilities are there, infrastructure is there, but emphasis is not on personal development. Emphasis is more on exploiting nature, exploiting the weakness of other entities. Therefore, this kind of a mentality, this kind of a society is not at all conducive for self realization and God realization. So, Ravana was a great Vedic scholar, but it did not lead him to self realization and God realization. Therefore, he degraded. So, a very important lesson for us to learn is simply don't uh, emphasize on external development. Don't simply emphasize on how to increase material opulence, but real opulence is spiritual opulence. Real development is inner development, soul's development. When we achieve that platform of developing loving relationship with Krishna, then this human form of life is properly utilized. The human form of life attains its perfection, isn't it? We see the example when Vibhishana left Lanka. Why did he leave Lanka? Vibhishana was a pro Samskriti person. He could not live in a Vikruti society because in a Vikruti society, the good instructions given by a person who is pro Samskriti is not at all taken seriously. It is laughed at. At various instances, Vibhishana tried to explain to his brother Ravana how he should return Mother Sita back to Lord Rama. This is for the good of himself and for the entire Lanka. In so many ways, Vibhishana tried to explain, but Ravana, because he was so intoxicated with his power, with his pride, he was not ready to accept this reality that Rama is not an ordinary person and what he has done is immoral and he's going to be punished. He was not able to appreciate this. This is a symptom of Vikruti. Vikruti means you're not ready to accept the reality. Your life is not based on reality and knowledge. I said in Lanka, in Vikruti society, might is right is the slogan. That is their tagline or that is their motto. Whereas in a Samskriti like Ayodhya, right is might is the philosophy. What is right that has to be done? It may be inconvenient, but still dharma has to be adhered to because dharma is righteousness. Where there is dharma, there is real might. That is real power. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. A person who follows dharma, he is protected. This is the philosophy of the uh, Samskriti or civilized human society. So Ramachandra appeared in Ayodhya. The kings of Ayodhya, they had left behind great legacies because they themselves, all these kings of the forefathers of Ramachandra, who all appeared in the Raghu dynasty, like Satya Harishchandra, Dilipa Maharaj, Bhagirath Maharaj, they're not ordinary people. Shibi Chakravarti. These are all the personalities who had practically given up their whole life for the sake of dharma, because right is might was their philosophy. On the other hand, in the kingdom of Lanka, you don't see any such positive examples for even Ravana to adhere to. There were no positive examples. Of course, Ravana himself, that kingdom of Lanka, belonged to uh, his stepbrother, Kubera. So Ravana came with his power, he overpowered Kubera, thrown Kubera out of his kingdom, and he usurped the kingdom. This is Jungle Raj. This is exactly the mentality of the modern day terrorists. Today, we are in a war situation. Hmm? From today onwards, you all know mock drill is happening all over the country in order to prepare the citizens for a war situation. So war is definitely not the not at all a good alternative in a civilized human society, because war leads to destruction, not only of the miscreants but also of the innocent public. So when you study both the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata, where the greatest of wars were fought in the human society, all attempts were made to somehow avoid the war. But when there was no alternative, then only the Pandavas and Lord Rama, without any alternative, they came to the battlefield. It's not that they were weak, therefore they were trying to avoid the war. No, a righteous person, a person belonging to a civilized human society, will try to avoid war because he knows the ill effects of war. War simply leads to destruction. But when there is no other option, when the opposite party is not ready to understand, then they have to be taught a good lesson, isn't it? So the modern day terrorists are actually, like Ravana, like Duryodhana. They are atatai. Atatai means those who unnecessarily give trouble to others. That has never been the policy of the Vedic society. The Vedic society or the Indian Bharatavarsha never went and attacked another neighboring kingdom, neighboring country, just to increase the borders, just to increase the territory. This expansionist policy that some of the countries have in the modern day, like China and others, they want to expand their influence, their physical boundaries. That has never been the way of life in Bharatavarsha, because Bharatavarsha always stands for Samskriti, real civilization. Whereas those people who are part of Vikriti mentality, they're always feeling insecure. They always want to increase their boundaries. They always want to show that they are existing through their violence. So these people have to be taught a good lesson. Srila Prabhupada says, becoming a devotee of the Lord doesn't mean one should become a coward. Somehow, this has been the understanding, unfortunately, misunderstanding. Becoming a devotee doesn't mean becoming a coward. So, when it is required, a devotee is ready to even physically fight for the sake of dharma. For the sake of dharma. So, that is why when Arjuna was trying to say that, let me not fight, Krishna did not agree for his so-called non-violence. He said, what will people think about you? You have a good reputation as a warrior, and now people will think that out of fear you have ran away from the battlefield. Do you think it is a very good legacy that you are going to leave? Isn't it? So Lord Krishna did not agree for the so-called non-violence displayed, untimely non-violence. Everything has got a time. When to be non-violent, when to show violence. When and where and what situation, with whom, these are all very important. So Arjuna was trying to be non-violent with people who were undeserving. Duryodhana, who is wickedness personified, and Arjuna was trying to be nice to him just because he belonged to his blood relations. So this kind of a soft uh, corner for some wicked people, it is not dharma. So dharma has to be understood properly. So when these modern day representatives of Ravana and Duryodhana, they are trying to create unnecessarily trouble and killing innocent people, uh, which is actually not at all forgivable, isn't it? It's a big offense. So whatever may be their philosophy, but one can never justify killing of human beings, killing of people in the name of God or in the name of whatever, killing of innocent people. This is never to be tolerated. So therefore, Lord Ramachandra appeared, even though he came to set the standards for human society by his gentle behavior, he did not miss the opportunity to teach a good lesson to Ravana. So many politicians, so called politicians, leaders of our society in the past and even now, they have a very wrong understanding about dharma, about the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. There have been many politicians who say that Bhagavad Gita promotes violence, or some people say Bhagavad Gita promotes non-violence. Both are wrong. When non-violence is supposed to be practiced, when violence is supposed to be practiced, that has to be understood properly, isn't it? Krishna talks about non-violence, ahimsa, sattva samshuddhihi, when he talks about the 20 items of knowledge in the 13th chapter. He says, yes, ahimsa is very important. Ahimsa. But he does not agree with the ahimsa, so called ahimsa, that Arjuna was talking about in the first chapter of the Gita. That was cowardice. That was untimely. That was not in the right situation. So we see that Ramachandra used his power, used his physical strength to teach a very good lesson to Ravana. This is important. This is very important. So many times we think that, why devotees, we should not worry about all these situations. No, we are in the material world. Whatever is happening in the material world will definitely have an impact on us. So therefore, in the present situation where there is a greatest likelihood of the war, what we all can do as devotees. First of all, we should have great respect for all the soldiers who are ready to lay down their life for the sake of protecting the entire nation, for all of us. Number one. Not only during the wartime, other times also, we should have great respect for them. It is because they are guarding our borders that we are able to sit here and practice bhakti. Of course, ultimately, Krishna is our protector, but we should also not become blind to the instruments that Krishna is using to protect us. This is very important. It will be arrogance on our part if we think, oh, these soldiers, what they will do? Krishna is my protector. Yes, Krishna is our protector, definitely. But these soldiers, they are ready to lay down their life for the sake of the country. So we should not forget that. So number one is we should have respect for the uh, soldiers. Number two is we should not get carried away by some of the statements made by some foolish politicians just to, you know, just for their vote bank, just for, just for making a statement, very irresponsibly, we are seeing that some of the people, some of the so called leaders are making some statements. So, at this point of time, it is important that they don't understand that this is a war situation. It's not a time to play politics now. It is a time to stay united against the enemy. Unfortunately, these people, they do not understand. So we should not get carried away. We should not spread such statements, and we should be fully alert. Now, Prabhupada says very interesting thing. You see, as soon as this war mock drill was announced, they said that it is to create alertness and awareness in the citizens, isn't it? War means you should become alert. You should become alert of your own protection and also protection of others. Prabhupada also said, practicing Krishna consciousness means it is a war against Maya. And war means you should be very alert. So a devotee should be alert 24 bar 7 because enemy can attack from any direction. What is our enemy? Everybody's enemy. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, all these things. These are our enemies, isn't it? Kama can attack from any direction. We cannot say, oh, now I am nicely practicing Krishna consciousness from so many years. I'm secure now. No, war means it's an emergency situation. Attack can happen anytime, any moment, from any direction. So one should be jagrata. One should be very, very alert, isn't it? So the moment they say mock drill, they say, oh, you have to create awareness, you have to become alert. The same thing every day, our mock drill of chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. What is the meaning of that? Yes, we have to be prepared to face Maya. Maya will try all ways and means to pull us back into her, clutches. So we should be very careful. And of course, we still, even now also in the clutches of Maya only, we are trying to get rid of the clutches of Maya. So when we chant Hare Krishna mantra every day, 16 rounds, we should be fully alert. We should pay full attention to the holy name of the Lord. When we are hearing Bhagavatam, we should be fully alert. These are all mock drills every day, Prabhupada has said. You chant 16 rounds, get up early in the morning, attend Mangalarati, chant 16 rounds, hear Bhagavatam, associate with devotees, take prasadam. These are all various opportunities to strengthen the soul, to strengthen ourselves, to fight against Maya, isn't it? So, a devotee in that way is always alert, should be always alert. And now, specifically in this warlike situation, also. Another thing that we also understand is war is inevitable in the material world because there are always two kinds of people, the suras and the asuras, the law abiding people and the law breaking people. Always there will be two kinds of people, and there will be a clash between the two people. So when we hear about Rama Ravana Yuddha or Kaurava Pandava Yuddha, we should not think these are simply some bygone ages, somewhere it has happened in the past. No, even today it is happening, that we are seeing today. One is the internal war, the other one is the external war, physical war. The physical battle is going to happen between the two countries. And then the internal war is the war between us and the mind. Every day it is happening, isn't it? We want to get up in the morning, mind will say, don't get up. We want to chant, mind will say, let's go and watch some video. So this war is there, this struggle is there. We should never forget. This will remind us, this struggle reminds us that still there's a long way to go to attain perfection. Still I have not developed full Krishna prema. That's why there is struggle. For a pure devotee, there is no struggle, even if he is in the material world. Because a pure devotee is fully fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. There is no ambiguity. There is no doubt what should I be doing for a pure devotee. He is always absorbed in service of the Lord. But for us, that is not the case. We have got some good sense by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, by the association of devotees. We have got the good sense that yes, I should chant Hare Krishna, I should become a devotee, I should go back to Godhead. At the same time, there are deep rooted material desires in our heart which keep popping up every now and then, which keep trying to divert us from the goal of life, which is to attain pure devotional service. Therefore, we have to be alert. We have to be very, very alert. Alertness can be increased when we are in the association of devotees. The more we take association of devotees, the more we hear Krishna Katha, the more we render service, the more we chant, our alertness towards all that which is uh, not required will increase. And we'll be able to offer a tough fight against Maya. So we should not think that these fights that are described in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam are not relevant to us. These fights are our daily life fights, right? Ravana like Kama. Ravana is Kama personified. So we are still tormented by that Kama. And we need Rama Bana to counter this Ravana, Kama. That Rama Bana is the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The more we chant, more attentively we chant, the more we develop attachment to the holy name, Kama, Ravana will be destroyed. The Ravana within us will be burnt. But the problem is, the holy name is very powerful. We are chanting, but every day new kamas are we are giving birth. That is the problem. The holy name is very powerful. The holy name counters all kama bijas within our heart when we chant attentively with full devotion. But the problem is we are also creating new kamas. That is a problem. So one should not commit sinful activities mentally, physically, if one wants to make steady progress in spiritual life. Already there are so many past sinful desires which we have to deal with, which we have to destroy by the process of chanting, by the process of devotional service. While we are trying to do that, we should not foolishly try to create new material desires. We should not create new sinful activities. For that, we have to stay away from all those things which will prompt sinful activities, sinful desires. We should stay away from asat sangha. Today, asat sangha is not just a physical association with people. On your gadgets, on your laptops or tablets or on your mobile phones, asat sangha is available. So we should use our intelligence to avoid this asat sangha. Suppose you watch a half an hour movie. That movie plants so many new desires in our mind which are not required. Now we have to deal with the effects of those newly planted desires. First of all, we are suffering because of our past sinful activities. Now new desires have been sown freshly, and that will produce some actions. We will be forced to act based on those desires, and that will, in this way, we get entangled in the actions and reactions. So our fight against Maya is twofold. One is to do away with the past karma reactions, past material desires, sinful desires, to destroy that. Second is not to create new sinful desires, not to indulge in fresh material activities. not to create new karma. We have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, what will happen? One side, we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we are trying to make progress in spiritual life. On the other side, if you don't stop the new material desires, if you still continue asat sangha, Prabhupada gives the example, it is like you're trying to start a fire and someone keeps pouring water on it. What's the use? Another example given in Bhagavatam is elephant bath, isn't it? The elephant, when it finds a reservoir of water, it will go and nicely take elaborate bath. But as soon as it comes out of the water on the land, it will splash its head and the whole body with dirt. What's the use of that kind of a bath? It's of no use. So we should be very careful. We should check ourselves. We should be alert. Am I doing elephant bath? Am I doing? If you find yes, then you should take help. You should seek help. Because of our past habits, we may be forced to do a certain thing again and again, repeatedly. So we should not think that, oh, I know the philosophy, I can deal with this problem myself. No, it's always good to seek guidance of devotees and take help. We should never feel shy. We should never think, oh, what will Prabhu think if I go and reveal I have this problem? We should never think like that. All of us, Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness temple is like a hospital. You can come, take association of devotees, cure your material disease. So all of us are patients. Some of our disease is more intense, some people's disease is less intense. We should not forget that all of us have this material disease. And association of devotees is available. Today, online also it is available. It's not that you have to always come to the temple. Online, over phone call, over a video call, we can have discussions. You should take devotees into confidence and reveal your mind and seek guidance. So this is very, very important. So otherwise, you're killing Ravana, just like Ravana had 10 heads. Each time, new head is coming, you know. So it will create more and more problem and it will delay our progress in spiritual life. We should be very careful. So here it is said, let us see some interesting points from the purport. So why this Ravana? So here Prabhupada is saying, sometimes great demons and atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu and many others become very famous due to advancing material civilization by the help of material science and other activities with a spirit of challenging the established order of the Lord. So many times you might have heard this. Prabhupada often criticized the scientists. Does it mean Prabhupada was against science? No, Prabhupada was against those scientists who were godless and who were trying to promote godlessness in the society in the name of science. We should be very careful. We should not think that, oh, Prabhupada is against science. No. In fact, Prabhupada utilized all the inventions and discoveries of scientists in service of Krishna. Prabhupada said this is called Yukta Vairagya. So Prabhupada is not against the scientists per se, but he's against their godlessness. That's why Prabhupada criticized those scientists. So generally people think, oh, if I am a scientific person, then I don't have to believe in God. Oh, this belief in God is all sentimental. It is not scientific. This is a wrong idea. So Prabhupada is saying that demons and atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu had this kind of an idea. Through their advancement in material science, they wanted to challenge the established order of God. That means because they were in an influential position, they were influencing others also to become godless. So this is the problem, isn't it? So Prabhupada is giving an example here. Flying in the sky, flying to other planets, is a challenge to the established order. Now everybody wants to go to other planets, no? Mars. They want to establish human colony in Mars. And Prabhupada is saying that's a challenging the established order. According to your karma, according to your law of karma, you have been born in a certain planet. You have to see how to attain your perfection of Krishna consciousness. That's the goal of human life. Instead of that, if you're trying to go, oh, let me go to another planet and stay there. So, what will you do even after going to another planet? You cannot escape the cycle of birth and death. What's the point? You're simply wasting your valuable human life. That's the idea. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Even if you go to the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, you have to come back. You have to go through the cycle of birth and death. So simply wasting a lot of time, energy, efforts, money in trying to go to other planets is of no use. Instead of that, you should be situated wherever you are. Understand you're not the body. Understand how to get rid of this cycle of birth and death. Take up devotional service seriously. That is the argument of Srila Prabhupada. So, Ravana, Prabhupada is quoting in the purport that he wanted to deport ordinary men to Swargaloka by the means of building a staircase from the earthly planet to the Swarga. Generally, to go to Swargaloka, you need to perform Punya Karma. But Ravana wanted to change the system established by the Lord. Now, this is the thinking of a demon. I will create my own system. Why should I accept the Lord's system? This is the demon's thinking. So he wanted to send people to Swargaloka by making a staircase from the earthly planet to the Swargaloka. Of course, he did not succeed in it. And then finally, he also challenged the Supreme Lord himself. And he took away Mother Sita by force. So the Lord taught a very good lesson to Ravana. Such great, powerful persons, however powerful one may be, in front of the Supreme Lord, his power is useless. This we have to understand. So the Lord Ramachandra, another point that Prabhupada mentions, that because he is a supreme personality of Godhead, he exhibited superhuman activities which no human being, including the materially advanced Ravana, could perform. What did he do? He prepared a royal road on the Indian Ocean with stones that floated on the water. So stones don't float on the water, but the Lord made the stones float. This is the superhuman activity of the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying it is nothing, it's not a wonderful thing for the Lord because he makes huge, gigantic planets and stars float in the space. So is it difficult for him to make some stones float? It's not at all difficult. But so the Lord built a bridge without any supporting pillar. That is the display of the power of God. So this particular, there are so many incidents in Ramayana, but this particular incident has been chosen here to, that is the building of the stone bridge across the ocean. This particular incident has been described here in the shloka to distinguish the Lord. Even though he may appear to be an ordinary human being, do not make the mistake of considering him an ordinary human being. This is what Bhagavatam is telling us. Yes, the Lord displayed all human emotions, human behavior. He stood for the values and principles. Apparently he suffered injustice. Apparently, Lord Ramachandra suffered injustice. He was sent to the forest for 14 years. But all these things are on one side. But you see, look at this particular incident where he actually controlled the ocean god, and he built a stone bridge across the ocean. So this shows that Lord Ramachandra is a supreme personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada always says there are two criteria based on which one should accept incarnation of the Lord. One is he must be foretold in the scriptures. The second one is he must perform superhuman activities. So based on these two criteria, we accept Ramachandra as an incarnation, as a supreme personality of Godhead. So the lesson for us is we must not support injustice. Being a spiritual person doesn't mean you don't raise your voice against injustice, right? In fact, when there is injustice happening in front of our eyes, to remain silent is also a sinful activity. If a sinful activity is happening in front of your eyes, you must definitely use your physical strength if possible. If that is not possible, at least speak against it. So, this is what we learn from Ramachandra. He's so powerful, but he knows when to use the power, when not to use. And when there is injustice, he always fights against it. This is Ramachandra. So we close here today's session. Any questions, any points anyone wants to make?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu,
Hare
you
Krishna.
said that we know that Krishna is the ultimate protector, but at the
Yeah.
same time, we should respect the instruments, in this case, the soldiers who are guarding our border. So I
Yes.
understand that it is not like a zero or one policy, right? That we should respect Krishna as well as those who are immediately protecting us or immediately helping us. To them also, we should respect, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. We should not take, basically, a devotee cannot be ungrateful. A devotee cannot take things for granted, hmm, isn't it?
So that
In
means,
fact,
yeah, so
can you
that
please
means
repeat?
not only Krishna, to others also we have to respect, means who are directly helping. So it is not only Krishna, even the other people like soldiers, doctors, or any person, teachers in school or colleges who are helping us
Yeah,
directly. Even
yeah,
though we can say that Krishna is actually helping us through them,
def-
we should be grateful to these people, these personalities also, these characters also.
definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
bro.
We should see them. Yes, Krishna is providing me through these people. We can see them as an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Like, for example, suppose now, mm, let's say there are so many teachers who have taught me during my school and college days, and all their efforts, by their efforts, I have gained knowledge and I have gained certain skills, and all that I'm employing in Krishna's service now. So, shouldn't I thank those teachers for being good instruments, for being good in whatever they were supposed to do? I should. Say, a devotee should not take it for granted, anything. In fact, we say devatas. Devatas, many times people have a very wrong understanding of Krishna conscious philosophy, saying that, oh, Krishna consciousness, we don't care for devatas. No, it's not that we don't have to separately worship them, but at the same time, we should not be disrespectful towards them. We should recognize that, yes, the air that I am breathing is supplied by Vayudeva on the order of Krishna. This Krishna should never go out of the picture. Real glorification of any personality means seeing how that person is connected with Krishna, how that person is an instrument in the hands of Krishna. That is real glorification. If you glorify Vayudeva, oh, you are the independent personality, because of you I am breathing. That is wrong. Vayudeva himself will be embarrassed. He will be unhappy because he is a great devotee. But when you say, oh, Vayudeva, thank you, you're nicely following the orders of Krishna and you're supplying air to everyone to breathe. Thank you so much. So that is the right way of respecting the devatas. So, you know, when the Bhagavatam says that one who surrenders to Krishna fully, he is freed from debts towards all living entities, all kinds of devatas, rishis, forefathers, everybody. That's true. But the Bhagavatam doesn't say you should disrespect these people. Just because you have become a devotee of the Lord doesn't mean you become arrogant and you disrespect and you say, I have nothing to do with you people because I'm directly dealing with your boss, Krishna. Krishna will not be happy with this kind of an attitude. We have the right understanding, at the same time, be respectful. So, in the same way, the soldiers or the teachers who have taught us, the soldiers who are guarding the country, yes, we should have gratefulness towards them. We should have gratefulness. That's actually Samskriti. That is the symptom of a civilized person. Okay, here is another question somebody has posted. Let me check. Yeah. When Srila Prabhupada says that the planets float in the air, I feel bewildered. Although I am aware Srila Prabhupada is right, but I am unable to understand. Please clarify. So, floating in the air, yeah, gravity. All the planets are in their positions because of gravity. And what is that gravity? Gurutva Karshana. That gravity is nothing but Sankarshana Shakti, Lord Balarama, Anantadeva. See, there are two ways in which we can see the reality. One is the physical phenomena, phenomenal reality, and the second one is called noumenal reality. Phenomenal reality is what the material science tries to present and prove through theories, experiments. So when you say the planets are floating, the planets are in the space when we say. So the material science explains it through a phenomenal understanding. The phenomena is called gravity. Of course, scientists have still not understood properly gravity, how gravity works, why gravity is one of the fundamental forces in nature. There's still a lot of research they are trying to do, but they have come up with some explanation called gravity. There is a force called gravity between two bodies, which is holding those different planets or stars in the space in their positions. This is a phenomenal explanation based on material phenomena. But there is also another side of it, another side of the reality, which the modern science cannot appreciate. That is presented in the Vedic texts. That is called noumenal science. So we say the Vedic scriptures, the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita says that nothing in this material world is impersonal. It is all connected with the personality of Godhead, right? This reality cannot be understood by experimental knowledge. You cannot perform an experiment and find out really whether Anantadeva is holding all the planets and universes on his hoods. Show me the proof, if you ask. Then we say, no, it is a noumenal science. It is, it is not a materially verifiable, materially in our present condition, through our limited sense powers, through our limited observational powers, we cannot understand, we cannot verify. So, therefore, we have to see both phenomenal, noumenal. Phenomenal is one way, material, the gross material way of seeing, but there is a reality behind it, which is not visible to the material eyes currently. So, hope that answers your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhu
Abhishek. Yes.
yeah, Prabhu, I have some questions from earlier session.
Yeah, please
Prabhu,
tell.
during this Matasya Avatara uh, course, so
Matsya
the
Avatar.
Satyavrata, yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, so Lord Matasya actually
No, it is
imparted
not
his spiritual.
Matasya. Hare Krishna. Sorry to interrupt. It is not Matasya. It is Matsya. Mat ta is half. It is not full ta. Matsya.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, Prabhu.
Okay.
Matsya
Can you
Avatara.
say? Ah, very good. Yes.
In Matsya Avatara Prabhu, Lord imparted his spiritual knowledge to Satyabrata.
Yeah.
And this Satyabrata king again took birth as Manu
Yes.
in the next year. So is it the like desire of Lord to empower him, or why he did not just went back to Vaikuntha or to his own abode? That is my
Yeah.
question, Prabhu.
Nice question. Yes, we see that this Maharaj Satyavrata was a pure devotee of the Lord. Otherwise, why will the Lord appear as an incarnation and reveal himself to only him and not to anybody else? So he's a great devotee, pure devotee of the Lord. But see, when a devotee surrenders to the Lord, it is up to the Lord what he wants to do with him. If the Lord feels that I want this devotee to again come to this material world for some other purpose, my purpose, I have some purpose. I want this devotee to be an instrument for that purpose of mine. Then the Lord can again ask him to take a material birth. But such material birth is not to be understood as implicated by the law of karma. We all have taken birth in the material world, being implicated by the law of karma because we had material desires, because we have not attained perfection, because of our past karma, we are forced by the law of karma to again take birth in the material world. But great personalities like Maharaj Satyavrata or the acharyas, great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada or the predecessor acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, they are not taking birth in the material world with a material body because of their past karma. It is because they are selected by the Lord for a specific purpose. So they are empowered by the Lord to perform a specific activity to assist Him in this cosmic material world, cosmic management of things. Therefore, Satyavrata Maharaj, sorry, he he was told by the Lord to become Manu. So he rendered a service to the Lord in that way. His name is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita also, isn't it? No, so this is a different Manu. Yeah. So he became a Manu to assist the Lord. That was a desire of the Lord. So in the last stanza of Shikshashtakam, this mood of a surrendered devotee very nicely Mahaprabhu captures. Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtu mam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato matprananathastu sayeva na paraha. What a surrendered soul tells to the Lord is, my dear Lord, you either trample me under your feet or you embrace me. You either give me your darshan and make me happy, or you deprive me of your darshan and make me unhappy. Whatever may be the case, you are completely independent. You are the Lord, but I am your surrendered devotee. You are my only master. I have no other master other than you. Whatever you want to do, I'm ready to do that. This is called surrender. In other words, the devotee who is surrendered to the Lord does not place this demand in front of the Lord. Oh Lord, give me liberation from this material world. No, he doesn't demand from the Lord. Oh Lord, if you so desire, give me liberation. Whatever is your desire, let that, I'm ready to execute that. Finally, Arjuna also says this in the Bhagavad Gita. Karishye vachanam tava. I will keep aside all my so called affection and my so called violence, non violence, whatever it is. I will execute your desire. This is called surrender. So it is up to the Lord whether Lord wants us to give liberation or He wants us to again take birth in the material world. As long as we are situated in devotional service to the Lord, that's the best position. Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu.
You had some more questions? We can take up maybe. the next session also. So, is there anybody else who has any question or any point to make? Okay, so let us close the session for today. Thank you so much for joining. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.